Anyway, let's get to the Hertz Syndicate segment because at least again, people are interested and there's something going on. And the Hertz came out again, laid the premise out. We've been discussing a fourth member, needs 3 thumbs up. MVP says we're going to try one more time. Calls MJF out. MJF comes out. They weren't on fire for this, but they weren't dead like, everything else. The fans I'm talking about. And, MJF is to Lashley is like, have a good car ride in, bro. And MVP's remember our discussion. MVP gives the thumbs up. Benjamin Shelton gives the thumbs up. And Lashley's milking it. He's got it out there, and they milked it a while because the fans started rumbling. And they're with this. And they were, and he's going back and finally and down and got a reaction. Oh, they thought that was it. And MJF gets hot. He said, you know what, Bob? I think I'm about sick of your shit. And Lashley grabs him. And no, as a matter of fact, he said, what do you want? You want the women, the money, the cars? What would you want for this? What about some Rogaine, you big bald son of a bitch? And that's when Lashley grabbed him. And MVP and Shelton had turned and walked off like, oh, God. But he grabs him and he puts him back in the turnbuckle. And MJF is starting, Montel, is like, Conan. He's screaming Montel, and Lashley's got him trapped there in a corner. And he says, we hurt people. You want to impress me? Hurt somebody. And then the fans start chanting, we hurt people. We hurt people. And Lashley let MJF go, and MJF is trembling and selling. And MVP looks at MJF. He's like, what the fuck? You talk too much. And again, people are interested. I don't know if they ever need to make a decision. They just need to keep coming out and doing this shit. At least it's a break from the children having fun.
Does Tony Khan have a thing against bald people?
Well, they are.
MJF calls him a bald bitch. Ricochet, the big thing the fans yell at him is bald. Imagine if you were a bald fan going to these shows. You'd feel left out or picked upon.
Well, they do look odd. Bald people look odd. Fuck. At least do something about it. Like Mercedes, get a wig. She's got that, alopecia or propecia or whatever she's got.
You can read more about that in Monet Mag.
In Monet Mag, how I went bald at 22 or whatever.
Listen, let's, I don't even know what we're talking about.
Well, we were talking about the Hertz Syndicate, but you know what?
Going to what they're doing here, what do you think? The idea that MJF now has to go hurt someone. Should we see it or should we just see the aftermath?
Oh, boy, that's tough because if you just see the aftermath, then it's like every other goddamn phony bullshit thing they've done because they've done it 100 times where you run up, oh, the guy's laying there, someone's attacked him. And who's he going to hurt? I guess you can just hurt some random person, but see, if this had been, I know the talent involved is doing the best they can. But it seems like that since the Hertz Syndicate has been there for a while now, they would have actually had some type of rivalry with someone. There would be ill feelings enough that if MJF hurt that person or one of those people, that might make Bobby Lashley smile. But since they've had no rivalry with anybody or meaningful program because there's nobody that they have no tag teams. Nobody can stand up to them either physically or in the booking or either. They're not really identified with any enemy. You see what I'm saying? The Hertz Syndicate. There's no ready Midnight Express, Rock and Roll Express, Ric Flair, Dusty Rhodes, Jerry Lawler, Bill Dundee, whatever the fuck. So then if MJF just goes and hurts some random doofus, or even if it's some name, but it's not connected to I guess that proves the point. But There could be so many more things going on here if the talent didn't have to come up with their own shit to avoid being trapped in any of Tony's shit with Tony's friends and their shit. That's the problem. So a lot of these things could be done better, but you're only working with what you can control.
And you got to think once MJF joins the Hertz Syndicate, figuring that he probably will, then at least you can kind of shift the focus to what he said his goal was, to have them help him win back the world title, however long that road is. But like you said, Shelton and Bobby need whatever they're doing. You could always have Bobby kind of hates MJF, but they need something to do themselves. And who is it going to be?
Yeah.
FTR are now heels, and they're seemingly doing a program with the Rock and Roll Express. No, I don't know who they're actually doing anything with. Maybe Edge when he comes back finally. The Young Bucks ain't going to wrestle the Hurt Syndicate. That ain't going to happen. And that couldn't be a feud. That would be the most ridiculous feud ever. I don't see any free agents out there for Tony to bring in that it would work.
What about Oro Mensah and Javier Bernal?
Those are two released wrestlers? Is that what that is?
Yes, I think that's who they are.
I don't know who they are, so I can't say for sure.
See, that's the point, is they've got just, and honestly, if they add MJF to this group, they're going to kick the shit out of the rest of the company all put together.
Unless you did Hurt Syndicate versus Death Riders. If the whole if the whole thing is MJF trying to get to the world title, and if Moxley's the champion, but again, then you have a weird heel dynamic, even though clearly the Hurt Syndicate and MJF would be cheered over the Death Riders every day of the week.
And they are being cheered already, so what the fuck? What about if MJF gets the plumber and the Hurt Syndicate is there to keep the Stooges away? It would get the Hurt Syndicate and MJF over as raving baby faces to be the ones to put an end to this madness. The match ain't going to be any good with Moxley in it, regardless of who he's fucking wrestling. So
Moxley would be the problem. Moxley would complain to Tony that he wouldn't want to put over MJF again. I guarantee you that is exactly what would happen.
Oh, I forgot that these people get to pick these things instead of the boss actually telling them what to do. That would be a problem.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they could just go out and shoot for it.
Shoot for it?
Because, well, think about this. You got Lashley and Shelton in the corner, so that negates Claudio, Wheeler, Marina, Pac, if he's still fucking in this country or uninjured or whatever his status is. And from what we've seen from Moxley's grappling tournaments in Newport, MJF's got a 50-50 chance. He wrestled in high school.
Yeah, MJF probably has more wrestling experience actually than Moxley.
So let him shoot for it.
Well, we'll see what happens, but I like that idea.
Brian, I'm just thinking that maybe the reason why that MJF is not getting the message is because, MJF likes to listen to his own inner voices. He likes to march to the beat of his own different drummer. He's always preoccupied with himself, and maybe he's not hearing what Bobby Lashley is saying because he's listening to MJF's greatest hits on his Raycon everyday wireless earbuds. Do you think that's a possibility?
No, MJF's greatest hits, what's that?
Well, that's all his great promos. He listens to them over and over.
Oh, not his songs, not his singing.
Well, he probably listened to his singing also. Whether he's probably listening to himself on the Rosie O'Donnell show, or was it the Roseanne Barr show? What Rose show was he on? Rosemary?
It was Rosie O'Donnell. She taped him in Manhattan.
Well, they all had shows at one point or another. But folks, Father's Day is coming up. And that's one of the most confusing days in MJF's life, from what I understand. But if you're pretty sure, at least convinced that you know exactly who your father is, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to want to get him a treat for Father's Day. You're going to want to treat Dad to a pair of the everyday earbuds by Raycon because he deserves to relax. He deserves to enjoy his favorite music, his podcast, even his phone calls. And most of all, on Father's Day, he enjoys not having to listen to the nattering and the bitching and the moaning and the whining of your mother, who got her own day just a month before his day. And now she wants to monopolize his day with more of her nanny. So get your dad the Raycon everyday earbuds, and he's going to stick them in his ears, and he's not going to have to listen to that old hooer for a whole day on Father's Day.
Hey, let's Let's be nice to the listeners and their moms.
Well, some of these mothers are mothers, you know. The Raycon's latest model is better than ever for dad. It's got a 32-hour battery life. He can stay away from the old nag's fucking voice for 32 hours. Multi-point connectivity lets him pair with 2 devices at once. I bet knowing his wife, that's probably the kinkiest thing he's done in a year or two. And dad can wave goodbye to that tangled old pair of wired headphones. And then, that's the thing is the only drawback to not having a wire on these things is he's not going to be able to tie mom's hands so that she can't point at him and nag at him and make him work on Father's Day.
Let's talk specifically about your own ears,
And these earbuds, they come with active noise cancellation, so you can cancel out other people's noise that you don't want to listen to.
That's right.
And they're accessible, dad-friendly price point also, because Raycon start at half the price of the other premium audio brands, and they come in a spectrum of vibrant colors to match your dad's vibe. And maybe his mood is just black, get him black. Or maybe his face is red because of his high blood pressure, get him red. Whatever you want to get your dad. Maybe he's gray because he's starting to develop a deathly pallor in his old age. So get him a gray pair. But if your dad's not liking his Raycons, they offer a 30-day happiness guarantee return policy, no questions asked. And let's say your dad's older and you get him a pair of Raycons, he only makes it another 3 weeks. You can pluck these things out of his ears before they take him to the fucking funeral home and send them back and get your money back.
What's the matter with you? Let's not use this as an example. Let's talk about...
We've got to be practical.
We do, but that is not it, and that is not practical, but practical.
Do you know what Mama Cornette told me to make sure that I had her gold teeth taken out first? But I didn't do that because I didn't want to be unseemly, but it was on her mind. So again, folks, 30-day happiness guarantee return policy, no questions. They're not going to ask, hey, did these come out of a corpse? But go to buyraycon.com/JCE right now, BUYRAYCON.com/JCE. And you're going to get 15% off site-wide. 15%. It's amazing. It's unbelievable. 15% off already inexpensive earbuds. And most of them have never been worn by a dead man. Buy Raycon.
All of them are brand new. No corpses involved in any of the process involved here. Let's stress that.
Well, they clean them up first.
No.
They put peroxide on them.
Brand new Raycon earbuds for you. What's that promo code without any more? I don't know what fantasy you're going into over there, but let's help.
Yes, it's buyraycon.com/JCE. 15% off everything in the place.
All right. Well, Raycon is a popular earbud here in the house. We all have a set. I can't speak. You got me thrown off.